Welcome back. Now, here's a question for you. Should a man jailed for rape be allowed to keep the millions of pounds he won on the lottery? After a 15-year legal battle, Iorworth Hoare is now able to get his hands on a £7 million he won back in 2004 when he bought a ticket while on day release from prison. Hoare spent 30 years in jail for 1 rape, 3 attempted rapes and 2 indecent assaults. The daughter of one of his victims has urged him to give his cash to charity, just as her late mother did with the damages that he was forced to pay her. So, no doubt you will all have strong views on this. gbviews@gbnews.uk. This is a guy who served 30 years for rape and a variety of other different sexually based crimes as well. On day release, bought a lottery ticket, won millions, and now is apparently allowed to keep that money. Joining me now is women's rights activist Patsy Stevenson. Patsy, great to chat to you. Should he keep the money?
I mean, no. I think it's appalling, isn't it? Can you believe someone, like, he's done these crimes and then he's won 7 million. I think, to be honest, there needs to be rules around who can get a lottery ticket in the first place. And I think if you win that amount of money, you just shouldn't be able to have it if you're in prison for those type of offences.
The thing is, it's obvious that it is completely disgusting that this guy is now going to get 7 million quid or however much it is. Anyone can see that. But the problem is, realistically, what do we do about it? I mean, you've just said there that, anyone who goes to buy a lottery ticket, they have to check the sex offenders register, do they? It is a tricky one in that regard, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, I think it's just one of those things that, I mean, he appealed, didn't he? So he appealed to have that money. I don't know why he won that. I don't know who gave that, you can have that 7 million. I don't know who gave that order. I think that's ridiculous.
Do you think, then, that realistically we should live in a world where anyone who's gone to prison for, horrific sexual crimes should, be banned from ever receiving any kind of financial windfall? I mean, where would that stop if they were the son of a multimillionaire, for example? Should they be banned from getting their inheritance?
I think what it is, because a lot of the lotto winning, the lottery comes from taxpayers, doesn't it? Or comes from people that So it depends, where it comes from. There's a lot of context around it, but I think I can't imagine what the victims' families are going through. I think that's appalling to see. It's a random occurrence as well. This isn't an everyday thing that happens. But I really do think there should be some regulation in place where if you have committed severe sex offences, you shouldn't be allowed to win £7 million.
I imagine that there could be a way, or possibly should be a way, of actually saying if you are in prison for a catalogue of different offences, say murder, paedophilia, rape, some of that kind of bracket of offences, then you should be banned from winning the lottery. It is a really tough one. There's a mixed bag on this. I'm just going to put a couple of emails to you if that's all right. Look, Gary's been on. Gary says, if you won it legally, as much as it annoys me, then he's got to keep it. But then here's another one here, and I just want to make sure I get this one right. It is from John, who says he's got to give this to charity. So there's 2 men who've got in touch on this, but John says he's got to give this money to charity. I know that the victim's family were desperate for him to give it to charity. This guy presumably has a very questionable or no moral compass whatsoever, given the nature of his offences. I mean, do you have any hope at all that he might do the right thing and give this money to a rape survivors charity?
I mean, he's probably not going to, but to be honest, does the charity really want money from him? I think that's, it does feel a bit disgusting. But what I would, that person that was like, oh, he legally won it. Yeah, but he broke the law. So what? We're supposed to uphold the law, but he can just break the law where he likes. It doesn't make any sense.
Patsy, look, thank you very much. Great to chat to you. Patsy Stevenson there, who's a women's rights activist. It's a very strange topic, that, and it jumped out to me this morning because it got me thinking. It really kind of confronted me. I was like, well, this is a guy who's done unspeakable harms to people, served a whopping great big prison sentence, and clearly is pretty repulsive, very repulsive as a man. But then he's walked into a corner shop and bought a lottery ticket and he's won 7 million quid. Do you police that? I don't know. Get your views coming in. gbviews@gbnews.uk. Do you think that guy should be allowed to actually keep the money? He has been allowed. So It just feels awful, though, doesn't it? It feels absolutely awful.